every individual is a member of several groups like family, school, college, military, some sports team, corporate firms, and so on. This is because every individual has numerous needs and wants that they cannot be satisfied individually. Hence, they prefer to operate in a group. Also, man is a social animal and likes to live with the other people. Now, it is by the living and the working together in the organized groups and establishments that people satisfy their financial and societal needs. When the people are operating in a group, their efforts have to be controlled, coordinated, and directed towards a common goal. Now, this is nothing but management. Like the brain controls the entire functioning of the human body, management controls the functioning of an organization. So, let me give you some important vital definitions of management. Management is defined as a process by which a cooperative group directs the action towards the common goals. According to Joseph Massey, the above definition of management can be better explained as a team of employees, departmental units who want to control and work in collaboration towards a specific department, organizational goals such as improving the quality of the service goods, reducing the operational cost, and achieving the targets in terms of the revenue and the sales. To manage is to forecast, to plan, to coordinate, to control, to command. Henry Fayol says that management is a very distinct process consisting of the planning, organizing, actuating, controlling, performed to determine the accomplishment of the objectives by the use of the people and the resources. According to George R. Terry, the definition by the Fayol and Henry on the management revolves around its functional aspects. For example, if a small event, whether it is a business or a general, has to be managed, then the first step requires a plan to be drafted for the same, followed by the organization of the event, executing it, and during the execution, controlling it to accomplish the specific objectives. The same set of steps is applicable to any project. It could be a software, construction, insurance, and so on. So, it is undertaken by any firm. Management is a multi-purpose organ that manages a business and manages the managers and the managers' workers and the work. According to Peter Drucker, definition of management is both the people and the task-centric. Management is defined as a creation and maintenance of an internal environment in an enterprise where individuals working together in groups can perform efficiently, effectively towards the attainment of the group goals. According to Kuntis O'Donnell, this definition puts emphasis on the fact that management is a goal-oriented process where people in a team, department, organization, they work towards designing and creating the new products and services, improving the productivity of the people, reducing the time and cost, and adhering to the quality. Now, let me give you the nature and the characteristics of management. Management of nature. The term management is viewed from the different perspectives and holds the various features of characteristics discussed in the following sections. Now, first, let me give you the process aspect of the management. Management as a process. Management is seen as a process as it involves performing a series of interrelated functions to achieve the desired results. Some of the major functions involved in the management are planning, organizing, directing, coordinating, and controlling. As a process, management has the following implications. Number one, it is a continuous process. Management is not a one-time process. It is an ongoing process. It deals with recognizing the problem and taking suitable steps to solve it. Thus, it is a never-ending process. Then we have a social process. Management consists of the interactions among the people for the organization to achieve its goals. The management has to develop and maintain the cordial relationships amongst the people in the organizations. Now, coming on to management as an integrated process. Management plays a very important role in bringing the financial, human, physical resources to achieve the centralized organizational goals. For example, if we consider the management as a process, then we can readily take the example of a project management process within the organization, which starts with initiating the project, planning for the project in terms of the schedule, cost and resources, executing the project in accordance with the plan, and finally initiating the closure of the project. Management as a process is a continuous because it deals chiefly with the resolution of issues and integrated since it involves the balancing three key aspects: the people, time, cost to achieve the project and organizational goals. Now, management as an activity, like several other activities performed by the humans like walking, reading, listening, cooking and so on, management is also an activity. Management is an activity helps the managers to get the things done, which includes the following. Number one, it is an informative activity. These include the collection and dissemination of information and so on. For example, collecting the information on the product and services, the market value or the growth chart of its competitors. Interpersonal activities. These include activities like employee performance, feedback, training and so on. Then we have decisional activities. These includes taking the decisions on the production plans, advertising campaigns and so on. Now, management as an art and a science. There has always been an argument on whether the management is an art or a science. It's a big question mark. However, the fact is that management is both. It is a science also and it is an art also. It is considered to be an art since it requires that a person possesses the various managerial skills which can be categorized as a conceptual understanding the cause and effect of a particular problem, human to lead and control the groups, and the technical skills that is to be adapt in some technology or platform. In addition, it is considered to be a science because the various laws and the principles are framed and followed where and whenever required when the group activities are being coordinated. It consists of simulating the flight paths to managing the satellite transmissions to even the simpler task like management of a flow of a water in the dams. Now, management as a group. Management as a group management is a group signifies a group of the people responsible to plan, to guide, to coordinate the efforts of the other individuals working in the organization. Individuals in this group are referred to as the managers and they function at different levels of organizational hierarchy like the top, the middle and the lower operating levels. Management as a group can be viewed in the two different ways. The group of all the managers taken together. Now, these managers can be anybody from a chief executing officer, the chief technology officer and the chief operating officer, who are involved in setting the long-term goals, and to those who are at the operational level and are interested with the minor decision-making authority like sanctioning a leave or scheduling an employee for a shift and so on. Now, group of only the top managers. Now, these managers are involved in strategic decision making and commonly termed as a board of management or the management body of the organization. Now, coming on to management as a discipline. Management has developed as a specialized branch of the knowledge. It encompasses the principles and the practices for an efficient and effective management of establishments. Management has become a very widespread arena of the study. This is evident from the increase in the number of individuals operating the specifications in the management studies. For example, the resources are not coordinated and managed effectively. Thus, we can say that the management is a crucial resource that plays an important role in the success of an organization. Now, management orients towards the organizational goals. Every managerial activity is directed towards the achievement of a predetermined goals and objectives of the organization. For example, an organization has set its long-term goal to cross $1 billion, the revenue by 2020, or oppose India as per the Honorable Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had set its goal to double the food production and agricultural products by 2020, resulting in improved food security for the people at that time. Now, to set a goal and working towards achieving it is what management is all about, because all the factors like the people, resources, the budget, schedules, cost, and the core competence have to be managed to achieve the goal. Now, management is a universal process. Management is a universal process. It is an indispensable constituent of every organization, irrespective of its size or the nature of operations. In fact, management exists everywhere in the universe and in all types of activities, whether it is a social, political, commercial, and so on. For example, managing the poverty, illiteracy, political turbulence to managing the economy of a nation depicts how the management can be a universal process. Now we come on to the objectives of the management. Consider the case of a company, Kyoto. The organization has its objectives to increase its profit margin by 4% year on year so that it can have a 20% margin by the end of the 5 years. So it is aggressively trying to increase the sales of its IT-enabled insurance services and has made a 5-year plan to be the largest market player of the sector. The company is also looking to diversify in such business arenas or outsourcing, infrastructure management services in Asia Pacific region, in addition to its existing IT and IT-enabled services for the growth and expansion. The employees of Kyoto from its debut years have actively been involved in seeking the customers' faith, the trust, while doing the business by providing them all the quality services. Now suppose we want to decipher the organizational objectives of Kyoto, then the following objectives are brought into limelight. Organizational objectives. Every organization exists to achieve certain objectives. Thus, it is essential that every managerial activity has to be directed in a manner that it facilitates the accomplishments of these predetermined organizational objectives. Some of the organizational objectives are, now the objectives of the management, the first is the profit maximization, the second is the growth and expansion, the third is goodwill of the customers. So it was said that the employees of the Kyoto harbored a culture of aligning their personal goals with the organizational goals. So they had individual performance, the productivity targets to attain, which is the majority of the employees solicitously did, since their expectations of receiving the performance rewards, the bonus, were taken care of by the HR section of the Kyoto. Biannual appraisals were done to provide the employees with a feedback on their performance, at the same time providing more growth opportunities to employees with a strong feedback. Now coming on to the personal objectives. Several people are working in the organization to achieve the organizational objectives, but at the same time these people also have their own objectives as follows: the fair remuneration with rewards and the bonus for the employees, the unbiased healthy working conditions with a transparent communication process across the management levels. Now, the growth opportunities to the staff of the organization, the job security for the employees with the continuous projects in the pipeline, the social objectives along with the organizational and the personal objectives. The management also has to take care of the social objectives. So, these could be providing the quality goods and services to the customers and the conservation of environment and the natural resources as a part of the corporate social responsibility. Timely payment of the taxes such as the sale tax, the income tax, the service tax, the value added tax, professional tax and so on. The honesty in dealings with the customers, suppliers or the vendors. Now, coming on to the importance of the management. The optimum utilization of resources. The managers identify the requirement for the various factors of production like the workforce, money, machinery and material. They ensure that these resources are available in an adequate manner, amount of the accomplishments of the organizational goals. They also ensure that the resources do not exceed the requirement, as this may lead to losses. The managers also train and guide the employees so that they can complete the work effectively and efficiently, leading to optimum utilization of resources. Achievement of the group goals. A number of people work in the organization. Every individual may work on a specific task or the function. However, to achieve the desired organizational goals, it becomes necessary that all the efforts should be directed in one direction. So, this may happen only when the managers create a conducive environment wherein the people in the organization work as a team. The cost reduction in the modern times of intense competition, none of the business firms can prosper unless it is capable of supplying the necessary goods and services at the lowest possible cost. The management guides the routine activities in such a manner that all the wastage are shunned. By decreasing the prices and improving the efficiency, the managers improving and empower an enterprise to be capable of dealing with the competitors and thus to make huge profits. Now we come on to the growth and the survival. These days the business environment change rapidly. There is a constant change in the demands of the market and the society. The management forecasts these changes and enables the organization to face the challenge of the changing environment. The change in the business environment may create opportunities or the threats. So, it is efficient management that helps to identify the opportunities, leading to not only the survival and stability, but also the growth and the enterprise. Having stressed on the importance of the management, now the prime focus will be distinguishing administration from the management, since functionally management focuses on the execution of the task, whereas the administration focuses on the decision making. The strategic, tactical and operational decision taken by the management come under the administration function, whereas the plans designed after taking decisions and executing the designs as per the plan is management. For example, a decision is taken by the defense sector of the government of India to build the roads across the borders, for which an extensive plan is designed by the civil engineers of the defense sector, or it is outsourced to some of the roadway construction companies. They design the plan constituting the material, manpower and the cost required to build the roads across the terrains. If the plan is approved, then of course the construction company executes it, and that becomes a management aspect of the decision taken. Hence, the reader has to be quite clear about the distinction between the administration and management, and the illustrations in the next section bring out more differences between them. So, now we come on to a distinction between the administration and the management. The administration as a function is concerned with the determination of the corporate policy, the coordination of the finance, production and distribution, and of course the settlement of the the compass, that is a structure of the organization under the ultimate control of the execution. Whereas if we see the management side, management is concerned with the execution of the policy within the limits set up by the administration and the employment of the organization for the particular objects before it. Now coming on to another part, it is definitely deterministic and a thinking function, whereas if we see the management part, it is an executive function, followed by the type of the work. Now administration is concerned with the determination of the policies and the procedures, whereas the management is concerned with the implementation part of those policies and the decisions which are made by the management administration. Now if you take care of the administration, it is done by the top level function, whereas most of the middle and the lower level function, they take care of the management aspect. Now if we see the point of differences of the decision making is influenced by the external forces like the public opinion, the government, and so on. Whereas if we see the management aspect, decision making is influenced by the organizational policies and the procedures. Now if we see the functions of the administration, the major administrative functions include planning and controlling. And if you see the functional part of the management, directing and controlling are the prime functions which are incorporated in it. Now if you see the skills, the human and conceptual skills are a part of the administration, whereas the human and the technical skills are a part of the management. Now if you see the applicability and the process and the direction of the human skills, there is a difference between administration and the management. Now if you see the process, administration decides on what is to be born and what is to be done and what is to be taken care of, whereas the management decides on who should do it and how he or she should do it. If you see the applicability part, the administration takes care of the government and the public sector, whereas the business forms the part of the management sector. Now, coming on the direction of the human efforts, when you talk about the administration, it is not directly concerned with the direction of the human efforts, whereas if you see the management, it is definitely concerned with the direction of the human efforts in a very executive plans. So this is how we see the extent of the administration across the management levels. That is, if you see, there is a clear-cut division of the top, middle and the lower level. The lower level till and the middle level, a small part, will take care of the management, whereas the top, middle and the top management will take care of the administration, that is the thinking function. Now we come on to the levels of the management. Now the levels of the management denote the line of separation among the various managerial positions within the organization. The number of the levels in the managerial hierarchy depends on the number of the people employed in the organizational nature and the scale of the business operations and the size of the business firm. Now each level of the management enjoys the different amount of authority and the different status. Also, each level holds the different amount of responsibility and has no specific role, functions and the relationship with the other levels. Whereas the levels of the management can be classified into three broad categories. The top level, that is the strategic level management. The top level management includes the board of directors, that is CEO, chief finance officer, that is CFO, CTO and so on. This level of hierarchy has the highest authority and responsibility. Some of the key functions of the top management are as follows. To prepare a business level plan for the organization, it includes all the areas of operations. To identify the matters that are important for the existence, growth and profitability of the organization, such as using the advanced technology, setting up of a new unit and so on. Now to set up the organizational goals and objectives, to design the strategies to achieve the predetermined organizational goals. Then we have to decide on the organizational structure, hierarchy, various positions to be created and the relation between these positions. Now to control and coordinate the activities of all the functional departments. So the middle level management. The middle level management acts as a link between the top level management and the operational level management. This level includes the departmental managers, the deputy managers, the assistant managers, and so on. So some of the major functions of the middle level management are as follows: to prepare the departmental plan aligned with the organizational plan, to identify the organizational level goals and objectives and frame the strategies to achieve the same. Then we have to carry out all the managerial activities for the smooth functioning of the department, to issue the orders and the guidelines to operational level of the management and control and coordinate their activities. Then we have to act a liaison between the top level management, the lower level management, for example, explaining the policies and the procedures. Then we have to prepare by the top level management to the lower level management to report to the top level management. Then we have the lower supervisory operative level management. According to R.C. Davis, supervisory management refers to those executives whose work has to be largely with the personal oversight, direction of operative employees, and it consists of the supervisors, foreman, and so on and so forth. So this level of management is responsible for issuing the guidelines for the routine activities. The people in this group control, coordinate efforts of the line workers, and the lower level of the management performs the following functions: the planning the routine activities, assigning the task and issuing the orders to the workforce, supervising and guiding the workforce. So these were the major differences of the various levels of management. Now let us have a look on this. These are the major functions across the level of management. Now we have the major functions and we have the levels. To set objectives, to scan the environment, to plan and make directions, they are the part and parcel of the top management. And who are the designations or the positions who are taking care of this? The first is a board of directors. So CEO, CFO, CTO, president and the vice president are responsible for these functions. Now we move on to the middle level. Develop and implement the activities, supervise the first line managers, and of course report to the top management, allocate resources. So they are the functions of the middle level. Who all are taken care of? The functional managers, the deputy managers, and the assistant managers. Now we move on to the lower part. Carry out the routine work, supervise the employees, coordinate activities and the managers. They are a part and parcel of the lower level management. And who all are designated to do this? They are basically the foreman and the supervisor. So creating and maintaining a cohesive environment among the workers for the teamwork, reporting to the top level and the middle level management, evaluating the performance of the workers. So managing the grievances among the workers, they show the functions based on the levels of the management and the positions according to the employees based on the level they are working in their associated roles, and responsibilities based on the functions allotted to their specific roles. The table clarifies the complexities of the task allocated to the managers at all levels and sums up whether they are to be carried out daily as a routine activity at the operational level or monthly, quarterly and comprising of a budget or a resource allocation half yearly, yearly, or whether they are the tasks that accrue to a 5-year plan generally undertaken by the top level. The type of the managers. Managers are categorized into 3 types, basically on the basis of the level and the position in the hierarchy, the role, direct or indirect specifications, and the functions on the basis of level and the positions in the organizations. We have the top managers. The top managers fall in the top level of the management. They decide the organizational goals, formulate the strategies to achieve them, hence they are called the strategic managers. For example, the president, vice president, CEO and so on. Then the second category is a middle level manager. The middle level manager acts as a link between the top management and the operational level management. The middle level management are responsible for communicating the organizational policies and procedures and ensuring that they are implemented. For example, the manager, the deputy manager, assistant manager, and so on. So if you see this particular chart which is on the screens, here it very clearly defines the types of the managers. On the top, if you see, we have on the basis of the level, we have 3, top, middle and the lower level. Then on the basis of the role, we have the staff managers, the line managers, and on the basis of the scope, we have a specialist managers and the general managers. So on the basis of the scope of the activities managed, the functional managers handle a single department or the activity in the organization. For example, the finance manager, HR manager, purchase manager, and so on. The specialist managers, many organizations these days are interested in appointing the specialist managers to handle the various particular tasks. A specialist manager is the one who is responsible for handling a single area within a specific functional domain. For example, the training managers, recruitment managers, live payroll manager, and so on. The general managers, the generalist managers are responsible for a complex multifunctional units of an organization, for example, the whole company or a subsidiary. Now we are moving on to a managerial skill. With the increasing complexity and the competition, management of the business is becoming more and more challenging, possessing a wide range of skills and thus become a mandatory for the successful management. The skills that the manager should possess are as follows. He should have the technical skills. Now what are technical skills? The technical skills refer to an individual's aptitude, knowledge and understanding about handling the equipment, procedures and the techniques involved in carrying out the activity. In short, these skills relate to the expertise in the technicalities of a specific job. The ability to handle the computer numerically controlled, that is the CNC, numerically controlled machines is an example of a technical skills. So the technical skills are most till for the lower or the supervisory level management, since this level works closely with the workforce and is responsible for guiding and supervising them at a supervisory level. The importance of these skills decreases as we climb the hierarchy. Then we should have the human skills with us. The human skills refer to an individual's ability to work with people. Having human skills is very essential as it fosters the teamwork and helps in accomplishment of the organizational goals in a very efficient manner. Having the human skills help the managers to communicate and understand their subordinates and find out the effective ways of motivating them. Unless the technical and conceptual skills, the importance of human skills remain the same throughout all the levels of management, and hence one has to deal with the people irrespective of the people you're dealing with. Then you should have the conceptual skills. So thus individuals can come up with an appropriate solution to the problem, for example, considering the marketing and production departments of the same. Although both the departments belong to the same firm, their individual goals are different. However, the top level management see these individuals in a manner where the individual goals of the department are directed towards achieving the goal set up by the company as a whole. So the conceptual skills include the ability to think creatively, forecast, strategize, communicate and debate on the different pursuits.